Hello everyone, welcome to Oak Business Consultant. Today we are going to discuss the online grocery delivery Excel financial model. Over here you can see the table of contents. We have input sheet, revenue analysis, depreciation and loan chart, startup costs, income statement, cash flow statement, balance sheet, break-even analysis, project evaluation, sensitivity analysis, diagnostic tools, and a dashboard. Over here is a little guide that peach cells are input cells, gray cells are formula cells, and light gray font are helping cells. Moving towards our first sheet, which is input sheet, over here we have company start date, we have investments, then we have our loans, then here we have sales, costs, and tax assumptions. Here we have other assumptions. Then we have main category sales segmentation. Over here we have our payroll assumption, then we have our operational expenses, and then we have capital expenditure. Next up we have our revenue analysis, which is calculated on yearly basis and it is calculated on monthly basis as well. Over here we have calculated our total revenue, our total cost of each segment. Next up we have our depreciation and loan sheet. Over here we have calculated our asset calculation, which is on monthly basis. Then we have calculated loan schedule. Next up we have our startup summary. Over here we have calculated our total funding versus total expense. Then we have our total cost and then utilization of funds. Then next up we have our income statements, which is calculated on yearly basis and monthly basis. It's a 5-year projection. We have calculated our net profit and or loss. Then we have our cash flow statements, in which we have calculated our net cash and working capital. Here you can see the balance sheet, which is also calculated on yearly basis and monthly basis, a 5 years projection. We have calculated our total equity and liabilities, total assets. Over here we have our break-even analysis with a chart to get better visual representations of the values. Then next up we have project evaluation, in which we did company evaluation, value of company at year 0, investors required future value and equity share, then burn rate analysis, and then minimum investment that is required. Then next up we have our sensitivity analysis that is being calculated on 3 scenarios. Number 1 is actual plan, number 2 is moderate, and number 3 is optimistic. Over here you can see the charts as well. Then we have our diagnostic tools, in which income statement, cash flow statement, and break-even analysis is further described. Last but not least, we have our dashboard. Over here you can get an idea of the gross profit margin, net profit margin, revenue growth, net present value, internal rate of return, and expected equity percentage offered to investors. Here are all the charts to get a better visual representation of the company's valuation.